Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a really weird new product that's gone and been revealed overnight over in Australia. You see, it turns out that EB Games Australia has gone and listed on their website the Pikachu and Zekrom GX Premium Collection. I know. And of course, when you look at this, the very first thing that should spring to mind for all of you is, well, hang on a second. That gold Pikachu and Zekrom, that's a little bit new. And on the one hand, it is. And on the other hand, it really isn't. You see, this came from the Japanese set Tag All-Stars, which came around on October the 4th, 2019. Which means we are just about 2 years away from when that actually came out. Now, for anyone that's wondering, this is listed for release in November 2021, which will actually make it just over 2 years. But of course, placeholder dates, and it's quite far out, and I wouldn't rely on that date too strongly, I think is probably fair to say. It's probably decent as a rough guide, but I certainly wouldn't be relying on it, I think is fair to say. So alright then, this is cool, but it's also very weird. Because one thing that absolutely needs to be pointed out here is that by the time this comes out, Pikachu and Zekrom is going to have rotated. We're hitting the rotation on September the 10th. By the time we finally get gold Pikachu and Zekrom, and like I've said, we're looking at 2 years after it came out in Japan, it will have already rotated, and yet I don't particularly care. I don't think it's a really big deal. I mean, first of all, well, the way the format's been shaping up over the past couple sets, with decks like Rapid Strike Urshifu and Ice Rider Calyrex, that can honestly get kind of straightforward one-hit KOs on turn 2 with a half-decent setup, I think Pikachu and Zekrom might be done. And I know we say that every time a new set comes out, but if you look at recent results, I think it might actually be true this time. And the other thing is, right, if you want Pikachu and Zekrom, yeah, it keeps being released, ladies and gentlemen. It just keeps being released over and over and over again. We had the League Battle deck, which had Pikachu and Zekrom in. Had 2 copies of it in that League Battle deck. It's very cool. I've recommended you buy it on a number of occasions. Obviously, now that we're heading into rotation, pretty much, I think all of that deck will now be rotating out. So whereas once upon a time it was a wonderful, wonderful purchase, I think it's fair to say that it's not quite so good as it used to be. If that doesn't sound a little bit mean. But still, it was a cool deck while it lasted, and it's still got a bunch of good stuff for Expanded. And let's not forget that we actually had the Pikachu and Zekrom tin a little while ago as well, which had the alternate art promo of the card. So it's not like we've been struggling to get hold of this product, I think is fair to say. If you want Pikachu and Zekrom, brilliant news, ladies and gentlemen. It's not been difficult to get. It's actually been pretty straightforward to get hold of. They keep releasing it. So when I say I don't care about the fact that it's rotating, I really don't. I do care about the fact that it is bringing us the gold Pikachu and Zekrom, and not for nothing, a jumbo version thereof, which is extremely cool, because it's a kind of card that at this stage I was pretty much giving up on. Now at this stage there are a whole bunch of questions. How much does it cost? $120 US, which converts to $87.50 or about £63.50. So not a cheap product, but bearing in mind you get 10 booster packs plus the promo plus the jumbo, I happen to think it will be worth it. Also, if you look at the box we've got, the booster packs we can see, we're talking Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies. That's a good selection at the moment. Of course, there are 5 booster packs we can't see, and they are often the filler booster packs. That's often a very deliberate decision. Remember, packs like this are really good to use to get rid of stock that isn't selling. So if there are sets which Pokemon have printed and aren't selling as well as they were hoping, or they just have leftover stock for whatever reason, this is the kind of product that will get some of them in. But you've got a couple of Evolving Skies, couple of Chilling Reign, at least one Battle Stars. It ain't too bad, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't too bad. And then, of course, we've got the question of, is it going to be released everywhere? I assume so, but I cannot tell you for certain. It might, but I cannot tell you for certain. Of course, one of the big questions we have here is why now? And why this? Like, Tag All-Stars came around, like I say, in October 2019. It's been 2 years. And it brought an awful lot of hyper rares that, for whatever reason, never found their way over here. Some of them did, but a lot of them didn't. So a great example would be the Dedenne GX, which ended up in the Trainer's Toolkit. Dedenne had been out for a while. We were all wondering at what point we would actually run into this Dedenne, and then it turns out that Dedenne ends up being released. It's in the Trainer's Toolkit, and everything is good. There were a couple of other products, though, that have come around in the not-too-distant past, which have been bringing in very piecemeal and roundabout some of these particular products. We had the Jirachi GX box, which came around. It was a Walmart exclusive over in the US and gave us the full art Jirachi, which we had otherwise been missing. And then there was the Small But Mighty Premium Collection, which gave us the Togepi, Cleffa, and Igglybuff GX alternate art, which was released at EB Games Australia, but then it also came out in Target in the US and Toys R Us in Canada. Shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia for reminding me about that, as in the specific stores it was released. So there's a very good chance that that happens here. Of course, if, like me, you're sitting in Europe, you might be kind of terrified at this stage, because you're going to be thinking, well, hang on a second, Wassy, that's all well and good, but that Small But Mighty collection, that never made it out in Europe. No. No, it didn't. It's not a dramatic pause. I have nothing to add. It didn't come out in Europe. And I am really, really hoping that's not the case here. Although I still should have tried to pick up one of those Small But Mighty collections, and I am sad. If this doesn't come out in Europe, I'm going to be looking for someone to hook me up. So if you could be that person, Twitter @TheWassy, I will be very grateful. But my point here is that they are releasing these Tag All-Star cards very, very slowly and kind of all over the place. There doesn't seem to be some grand plan of exactly how this is going to make its way out, how all of these cards are going to find their way to us. It just seems to be that occasionally some of these are going to pop around and it will be fun. And I wish I had a better answer for you. Because at this stage, some of you are probably thinking, well, hang on a second, Wassy. Is that the only one of these? Is that the only gold tag team that was in Tag All-Stars? And the answer is no, there were 7 of them. There was Reshiram and Charizard, Pikachu and Zekrom, Mewtwo and Mew, Greninja and Zoroark, Lucario and Melmetal, Giratina and Garchomp, the legendary Bird Trio. All 7 of them were in Tag All-Stars. So now we're getting one of them after it's rotated, and yay, that's lovely. But then we need to ask ourselves the question of, well, what about the other 6? Are we getting the other 6 at any point? And the answer is, I genuinely have absolutely no idea. Part of me wants to say, yeah, they've released one, why wouldn't they release the others? That doesn't make a huge amount of sense. And the other part of me wants to go, well, hang on a second, there are still a bunch of these secret rare, hyper rare, call them what you will, from Tag All-Stars that never made their way out over here. So it is absolutely possible that we get this one as a one-off and never see the others. I don't know. And I really, really wish I did. I wish I had an answer for you. And I don't, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have an answer for you. What we know at the moment is that this set is coming out maybe in November. It costs $120 US, and it has been confirmed for Australia. It is extremely likely, but not confirmed, that it will be getting a US and Canadian release. And for folks like me over in Europe, we just need to cross our fingers and hope that it happens, because like I say, that Small But Mighty collection did not end up with a European release, and I missed out on that like a whole bunch of you guys probably did. In terms of the other gold tag teams, I don't know. I am hoping there are just 7 of these coming out, because I'm telling you now, if anyone from Pokemon's listening, I will buy all 7. If you release 7 of these, you have my word, I will buy all 7, and I will try and explain to my wife why I've spent so much money on out-of-rotation cards. Although my wife won't know they're out of rotation, so that will make the argument easier. My point is, I want more of these, and now we sit and wait. We wait for more news about when this is coming out in other territories, and we wait for more news, because there are still a bunch of those hyper rares from Tag All-Stars that we don't have yet, and I just want them. I want them all. They're beautiful. Should have bought more of that set when it was in Japan. By which I mean any of that set, because I didn't buy any and now I'm a little bit sad. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, and I want to know whether you are going to be picking it up. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.